So when you get to the point where I'm at, where you got your VIN from the state, and you got this factory 5 plate that they give you with your kit that's going to have your specifications, MK4 Roadster, serial number, year of manufacturer, and a spot where you can put the VIN number, this is what I'm planning on doing. I went to Harbor Freight, picked up the 1/8 steel stamping set. It has numbers and letters, and they're just about the right size to stamp it right in the line there. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. All right, so I learned a few things here practicing. Don't do it on rubber. It just bends the aluminum. So I took my metal brake out here for a nice hard surface, clamped down the VIN tag, took the plastic off. I put tape down here under this, under the rulers there, as you can see, yellow, so that way it doesn't scratch it up. And I got the VIN exposed, and these will just barely fit right inside there, so it'll keep it straight. And I'm getting ready to go ahead and start putting the VIN number. There's no way to erase, so you got to make sure it's right. All right, we were out working on tuning. Got my tuning set up here, getting the timing and the air fuel ratio set and everything, and just got it set, and all of a sudden the alternator bolt goes into the head, snapped off. So it is snapped off right there in the head. So I'm gonna have to get that out of there. Steel bolt and an aluminum head. That's always gonna be fun. I got ARP bolts everywhere except for these bolts for the water pump and the alternator, but I'm gonna have to replace those, I guess. So we're stuck waiting for my daughter to bring in the trailer. Good thing is it's nice and cool outside. It's 10 o'clock at night. Yes, it is working. Video that. Are you videoing it? Okay, good. Can you see it? Alright, I got the broken bolt out. Right there. I would recommend never using China bolts, because I was able to go right through this with like no issue. So I know this was not a grade 8. Definitely wasn't a grade 10 like an ARP bolt. But for right now, I'm going to go try and find some grade 10s to replace this. The hard part is finding that type of head on them. So got a couple places around town I'll check. And but these are the 3 bolts that hold on the alternator bracket. And all 3 of those came loose. The reason it broke was this one came loose, this one came loose, and this one just took the brunt until finally it snapped. So the whole engine's built with ARP bolts everywhere except the water pump, because there's so many different size bolts. I couldn't find a whole set to fit, so I was going to piece it together. Tuning the after I got the car together. Now on the Holly Sniper EFI, had a little mishap. My fault completely. I put on the alternator. You can see it's just laying down there. I put the alternator bracket together out of 2 different kits to get it to fit with my configuration. And when I did that, I used the cheap bolts just to get it put up and put together. And as soon as I got it timed and tuned just right, gave it a little bit of oomph, and that's all it took. Broke this 7/16 bolt, so I had to use I drilled it out, and used a reverse drill bit to pull it out. Wasn't hard to get out of there. Wasn't hard to drill through there either, because this says it is a 12.9 rated bolt. Yeah, right. It's maybe a 5 at the most. That's China for you. So ARP bolts are good to 100, and the tensile strength is 180 psi, which basically roughly is a 10, a grade 10 bolt instead of a grade 8. So grade 8's what usually most people would use, unless you use ARPs. I have ARP throughout the entire engine, everywhere, except this alternator bracket right there, and the water pump, because I couldn't find a kit specifically for this water pump. But I'm going to slowly replace the bolts now with some grade 10 and I have quite a few ARPs left around.
But since it's in the air,
put some ARPs in there too. But
since
trying
it's
to
in
find
the
the
air
right
right now, and I have 100
head,
miles
like
on
everything else
on this oil change.
Kind of tough.
I'm gonna go ahead and change the oil. I'm gonna run this Castrol GTX Classic high zinc content for probably one more oil change. I'm gonna change it again at 500 miles. So I changed it after about 20 or 30 minutes of run time. Since the engine is new. I think it was like 20 minutes of run time. I went ahead and drained it, and then 100 miles. I'll do it again, and then I'll do it again at 500 miles. When I do it at 500 miles, I'll be changing the transmission and the rear diff, all of it starting fresh. Okay, my oil pan, I got a Milodon oil pan, and it's got a nice heavy duty magnet in here for the drain plug. There was a lot of stuff stuck on the end of the magnet, but it was just all shavings. It wasn't anything of any size other than just shavings. More than likely all the rings.
Okay, this oil filter's been on the car for 100 miles. This is the second oil filter. The first oil filter ran for about a half hour, 20 minutes, half hour.
It honestly felt like
I changed it to this one.
But I changed the oil once,
so
and
I'm going to crack it open now and take a look
20 minutes of
how
run
clean
time.
it is.
Really see
all dirty for that matter. Let's see what's up
on this cat, on this
better
plug. So, but after 100 miles, got a little bit of schmutz. It looks pretty good.
This tool's just like a can opener. It's got a little can opener blade there. Very small. It's a piece of rubber. Yeah, it's a piece of rubber. That is not rubber.
All right, I'm waiting on the UPS man to come through with my bolts. I've already changed the oil, changed the filter, And now I'm just waiting around here, and I want to do something since it's in the air, make it a little easier to do this job here. So I'm gonna put now this carpet. I put this carpet together the way the kit said, and I used the carpet from the kit, most of it anyway. And so right here, these two pieces, this is a piece and that's a piece, and they're supposed to come together. And when they do that, people dragging their feet across here left and right, it's just gonna rip it open.
Could have came
so or peel it back or whatever. You can see it starting to show right there. But I glued it together the best I could to get it to keep from coming apart. But
it has a small.
What I did down here, this was a step trim edge because the same thing's going on here. So I put this edge on there to stop that from happening. So I went and picked up another one.
Other than that,
this one's a little more fancy than what I wanted. This is a stair edging. It has no holes in it, which
really,
is really what I wanted, so that I can put my own holes in there
100 miles on
where I want them. And this has also got some,
brand new.
some nice 3M double-sided tape on there, which I'm not going to end up using. But so now I'm going to cut this. I'm going to run this from here all the way down to the lower part of the V there, and then bring it up as high back here as I can to protect that from feet drag. All right, got them cut up. It's 13.5 inches up front, 14.5 inches in the back. See how they look. Put a few rivets in here now, and get this thing done. Get this side completely done. All right, so I got her back together. Got the bolts. This bolt here was broke. This one here wasn't broke, but I ended up replacing those. There was 3 bolts there. Those 3 bolts for this bracket were the bolts that came with the kit, and that was some China stuff, and it just didn't hold up, obviously, because as soon as I got the tune right, gave it a little bit of juice, next thing you know, it snapped. So but yeah, I was able to take it out and take the broken bolt out and get some new ones. These are grade 10 bolts. So now since I was working on the interior to finish it up, I believe I'm pretty well done now with the interior. And the driver's side over there, I got the threshold there. That's all in. So now I still got to clean up a little bit of dust there, or shavings, but I got my door stopping and shining, by the way. Went ahead and put some of that parade gloss on them. They look a lot better. They kind of match everything over there. Looks pretty good. Wanted a very clean and simple interior. I don't know if anybody remembers from the first videos when I talked about how I wanted it all to be. I wanted it to look like it just drove off the showroom floor in 1965, except for some of the obvious things that, you know, are not, like the steering wheel is not original, obviously. It's not wood, you know, different stuff like that. But I wanted it to look clean and not like everything's an afterthought. And I think I've pretty well achieved that. Hey, caffeine and gasoline. This one's for you. This is my adjuster cable. Comes right out of the foot box. Right out here on a cushion clip, and then goes right. And goes right in there in the dash. Right there.
end of the dash.